Putin latest news. The paid liars working for the Kremlin are pleading with Putin to put an end to the lies. The audacious counter-invasion of Russia by Ukraine has caught many people off surprise, including some of the Kremlin's most prominent propagandists, whose lies are now blowing up in their faces. Moscow is suffering from the impact of this event. The fallout is so severe that even commentators, whose unstated job description includes the freedom to lie with abandon, are suddenly calling on Russia's mainstream media to begin reporting a bit more truth. This is because the damage is so severe. During the episode of The Meeting Place that aired on the NTV channel on Monday, Andrei Fedorov, a former deputy foreign minister of Russia, did not hold back his remarks. He even took issue with the misleading title of the program. He made the following statement: "For as long as we continue to live with headlines like the agony of the regime, we will continue to lose, since incessant lies are coming from our side about the weakness of the Ukrainian army and everything that it is lacking. There are approximately 20,000 men in the vicinity of the Belgorod region in Ukraine who have the potential to participate." Andrei Norkin, the host, responded by saying, "The most reprehensible thing is that we overestimate our own strength and underestimate the strength of the enemy. In my opinion, this is of utmost significance since a lot of people are probably wondering, how could something like this have occurred?" It was brought to Fedorov's attention that the main intelligence directorate of Ukraine had supposedly given the Kursk operation the name, the sinking of Kursk. There are inextricable parallels between the embarrassing accident that may represent the final chapter of Vladimir Putin's grip on power and the tragic loss of the Kursk submarine in the year 2000, which occurred during the first year of Putin's presidency. Fedorov made the observation that this is a combination of a psychological attack and a military attack. We were not able to completely withstand it, which is a great disappointment. The argument that Ukraine had been preparing its assault into the Kursk region for around 2.5 months and had put a lot of thought into it was made by Fedorov, who cited sources that were not named. His argument was that the invasion of Sudza, a vital gas hub in Russia, which was located in the Kursk region, was carried out with the intention of compelling the Russian military forces to destroy it. Fedorov was referring to Russia's pattern of destroying cities and towns in order to capture or recapture them. This has been Moscow's gruesome practice, and it has been implemented in a variety of regions, including Chechnya, Syria, and Ukraine. It is not because of Ukraine that gas deliveries to Europe would be halted, but rather because of the acts taken by Russia, according to Fedorov. As a side note, this will have a significant impact on both Hungary and Slovakia. In a similar vein, political scientist Anton Koschenko called for greater honesty in the media, saying, "We really do have a lot of boasting, creating a false impression for the people that tomorrow, all of this will come to an end. It's not right that this is taking place." After some time had passed, Norkin made the observation that the leader of the Chechen Republic had projected that the counter-invasion by Ukraine would soon be defeated. He stated in an optimistic manner, Ramzan Kadyrov said this would take about 3 days. Koschenko's counsel was evidently disregarded by Norkin. Instead, Maxim Yusin, a political editor, advised the people of Russia to stop living in fantasy and to become more grounded in reality, inquiring, "What are some things that we can do to calm down? Even if it is extremely challenging, we ought to make an effort to adopt a more skeptical and less emotional approach. We ought to take a look at the map of Russia and evaluate the size of these lost lands in relation to Russia's massive size." According to Yusin, the Russian government ought to make preparations for the worst-case scenario, which includes evacuating all of their border regions and presuming that Ukrainians will remain entrenched there for a considerable amount of time. As an additional point of interest, he stated, "We ought to be prepared for the possibility that we might be required to give up these territories, God willing, without the people, for a specific amount of time. It's possible that Ukrainians will be stationed there for a period of approximately 6 months." Along the same lines, political analyst Viktor Olovich advocated for a greater degree of realism in Russian reportage. According to what he said, the special military operation has been going on for 2.5 years. We ought to put an end to these reports that they are in anguish, including the part that is being shown here today suggesting that they are in agony. Unfortunately, they are not in agony, and it is very clear that this is the case. They are making progress. We need a bit more truth. Yusin chimed in to argue, We need more truth. As soon as this advice was made, Vladimir Rogov, a Russian-installed official in a portion of the southern Zaporozhye province that is currently under Moscow's control, quickly disregarded it. He referred to Ukrainians as southern Russian people, implying that they have been in a state of war for hundreds of years and that they need to be educated to desire peace. He did this with utter disregard for their actual nationality. He detailed a number of battles and conflicts that broke out throughout the history of Ukraine and involving Ukrainians. In addition, Ukrainian Cossacks and Poles were responsible for the capture of Moscow in the year 1610. Yusin remarked with a harsh tone.